Hello, welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you how to build your own financial system. How to build your own financial system. Subscribe to this channel. This channel is about entrepreneurship, it's about business, it's about African dignity, it's about personal development. So, if you are the kind of person who is interested in set topics, subscribe to this for regular updates. So, let's get to our topic, how to build your own financial systems. I think that every human being, one way or the other, I mean, growing up, most of us would want to become successful. And when we say successful, it means that we want to become financially stable. I mean, we have to have some kind of money. Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to live with lack. You can eat. You can buy shoes. You can pay your school fees. None of us would want to go through this kind of stress. Your child is sick or your sister is sick, and you can take care of them. So, growing up, all the things that we saw as the way out of poverty, largely, those of us who were born in Africa would be traveling to some of these countries, America, England, Australia. Through their movies and through the television, they were able to convince us that if you get there, it means that you would have had the cure to poverty. And sadly, it's still in existence to large extent. And most of us who were born and brought up in Africa, the psyche. You see, the thing about it is that if you're born and brought up in Africa, the way you see the world is different from if you were born outside Africa. Even if you're a black person, I think for the last 500 to 800 years or so, the world has been cruel to the people of my skin, the people of Africa, black people. They've been cruel. I've traveled to some places. I've been to some of these countries, and almost everywhere you go, the respect, the treatment that they give to us is that bad. It's that bad. It's that bad. It's terrible. They hardly treat us. Most of them, the system, not even the individuals, the system, the structures that they put in place largely make us poor and largely make us at the bottom. No wise why they one who go through and then they try to put the spotlight on that one. So with our bid to look for financial success, we have thought that if you travel to some of these countries, you'll be able to overcome this. I think that is not so. It's not true. That's why you see young men and women who are here who would want to do everything to get to any of these countries. So some of us, especially those who think that they don't have any prospects at all here. And largely, a lot of us have been, or almost all of us have been brought up to, I wonder, whenever you start to talk about the good things of Africa, the Africans who are born here seem not to see it. It's a program. When you start to talk about the prospects, why you can be successful here, what you are doing, if you have a good plan and structure, is worth it, and you can build if you give yourself long term. If you think long term in whatever that you're doing. Majority of us were brought up not because here is tough, not because here is difficult, not because here we are poor. It's because of the programming, because of how we've been programmed to see ourselves. And the whole world has also been programmed to see ourselves as poor and marginalized and people who need help. So we bought it. But for me, the best thing to have if you want to have financial success is to have your own financial system, your own financial structure. Finance is not that simple. It's a system, it's a structure that you have to understand. And a lot of it is perceptional. A lot of it is controlled. A lot of it is the poverty is a tool. Is a derivative of ignorance, of our lack of understanding of finance, of the finance structure, of the finance systems of the world. And so if we don't have a proper understanding of it, if you've not been able to decode it, just as they've been able to program us that, to live here is wrong and you are going to be poor, but to live in some of these countries is really a blessing and opportunity. That's why you see a pastor pray for people to get a visa to go to Canada and Australia. And some people will tell you that is an opportunity. No. If it's because of finance that you want to go anywhere, then you must as well have a system, a structure in place. Because I can tell you, from 10 to 30 years, 40 years time, those who become financially successful will not be because they travel out of Africa. No, It's because they understood money and they had their own system, they had their own plan, they had their own structure in place. So I'm talking about building your own financial structure. The first thing is you have to understand that it is not where you go, that is why you become financially successful. It is the plans you have in place. It is the knowledge you have about finance. It is the knowledge you have about money that is going to give you the leverage. It's not where you go. It's not you moving from here to go to England or moving from here to go to America. No, majority of the people make around $40,000 a year dollars in America. Tax is not part of it. You move it forward, it's still not much. You go to England, how many people make even £30,000 a year? Very few. Majority of them are around just £15,000. There's no tax deducted. So it's not so much. And even if you make $100,000 a year, check the percentage. How many people make $100,000 a year in America? Very few. Even that one, they have not taken their taxes. So and for me, if you are not making big money, the system is going to screw you. You have to trade your blood, you have to trade your time to get money, and that is not the way to create wealth. Wealth is not you trading your time for salary. Nobody becomes wealthy like that. Anybody who has become wealthy because they were able to build their own plan, their own structure. They had a game, they had a plan to win. So you see the people who play football, the best of coaches, they have a plan. That's why they win. Boxers, the same. Anybody, life, you must have a plan. And so is with your finances. And better of it, and much, the best of it is you being able to have the best of information so that you can have the best of plan. And your plan will not be the same as mine. But you have to understand that trading your time for salary is not the best way to get money. And having a long-term perspective and gradually getting more than one source of income. And you doing whatever you can do, which is not against the law, to get income is as important as anything. And diffusing your mind that if you get a lot of degrees and if you travel, then you become rich. Those things are not true. So have your own financial structure in place. Because today we went to somewhere to look at somebody, to look at a project, and I saw this man and wife that we had seen. They were living around our area. They had provision shop. And so I saw them. I said, I know you somewhere. They said, yeah. Where did you? And then they mentioned the place. They had built their own house, and they had opened 2 shops in front of the house, outside Amasama area. And when I knew them, they were having provision shop. Now, over the last 10 years, provision shop, they've been able to build a house. I don't know how many other guys with a lot of all these things, living in all these areas have been able to build any house, So this is just one of them. And they had a plan. At least they wanted to build a house, which is good, even if they are not so much wealthy, because we know people who have traveled everywhere just to come and build a house, and that is even difficult. I also know a small boy who, I know somebody, a guy who would work. He has a very good, he's a handyman. He's able to make some things, and he has market for it. There is demand, but he's rather accumulating money to go buy visa or get visa and travel out of Ghana, because for him, his mind is that if he moves out of Ghana, he'll be successful. He has no plan. His own plan is that once he moves out of Ghana, he'll be successful. That's not true. So I told him that if you're able to make 2,000, 3,000 a month, why would you want to travel out of Ghana? If it's a house that you want to build, if you can build 10-bedroom house, you can build 3-bedroom house, and you'll be able to have a family yourself. And gradually, if you have a good plan, you'll be able to build something according to your bracket. But most of us don't have any plan at all, because we just think that once we are out of Ghana, you become successful. So that's not the system. So have your own structure, how much money you can save, how many avenues that you can add to what you do. If you have one job, what other job can you add? How much of your salary are you saving? Even if it's 1 cedi that you're saving. Can you bring the standard down a little, or can you increase the income so much so that you can get something to save and start to invest? But you have to start to at least improve your knowledge on money and on finance. You have to also have the believability. You have to have the confidence that what you are doing is successful. And that if you live in Ghana, I can tell you the best place to live is here. A lot of people will disagree, but the best place to be is in Ghana. Any little thing that you do brings difference in people's life and in your life. So my name is Kwabena. Subscribe to this channel. We're talking about building your own financial system. And so have a plan in place, the 2-year plan, 3-year plan, how much you're saving. And the bottom line is that you've got to be somebody who has honesty at heart. Don't cheat money. Don't cheat people. Don't trick people to get money to build a house or buy a car. Those are not important. Just work, and if you are paid, do some business. If you get money, have good plan for that money. If you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a house or build a house, those are for comfort. Those are not financial plan, really. A financial plan is being able to save money and invest. Being able to save money and you invest in that money in something that will bring more growth to the money that you have invested. And a lot of it, I can't prescribe a lot to you. You have to find a lot of things yourself, but at least become aware that your plan, your game plan is going to be responsible. Your system that you're able to build is going to be responsible for the future of your finances. And traveling is not part of it. Very few people. If 1 out of 1,000 become successful because they travel, that is 1 out of 1,000. I would rather want to get 500 out of 1,000 or 700 out of 1,000 becoming successful. Then that is a good chance of me, becoming successful as well. So many people have wasted their lives in a lot of these places because that is the program that they had. But I think that most people are doing so well in our country that if they plan well, if they sit down to structure a system, a plan for their finances, eventually they will do well. Maybe it will not change in a year, maybe it will not change in 2 years, maybe it will not change in 3 years, but eventually you will start to see success if you're deliberate and intentional and constructive about it. So you're not going to win financially if you don't have a plan for it, if you don't have a structure, if you don't have a system for it. And if your plan is to steal, cheat, lie, take bribes, then you are going to lose.